Let's implement our search functionality. We have this form in a navbar which is supposed to help us filter through our posts, but at the minute we've not handled its functionality. So let's try to handle that in this tutorial. So here I'm going to create search.php. So here, let's create a template and then blog search page, I think. Here I'm going to copy what we have here, index.php, the navbar and the header. Okay, I have to include a style sheet as well, but before then I have to copy this navbar and the header banner. So I'm going to copy, and then here I'm going to paste, and then for our styling I'm going to come here and then do link okay link so this is going to be style sheet, and then href, which is assets, css, then style css, just so we have our html for our search page. And then here inside our header, which is our banner, perhaps I want to do search results, and then what should I do? Showing results for our search query, like that. All right. After that we have main. Main, like that. I don't know why my tab is not working for Emmet. All right. For our class, let's have a container, the main content. Okay, and then we can have post grid, div post grid. Okay, and then let's have section blog post. Okay, we're gonna have an image here. Okay, let's leave that for now. Search blog. So we're going to be populating this from our search result later on. Then we can have post content here. Post content. Okay. Then instead of post content, we can have h3 title. Okay. And then what else? We can have author name p, author name, and then what else? We can have p post content. So these are just placeholders. We're going to be dynamically populating this later on. And then we can have an anchor tag a. The class is read more. Okay. We can set this to block view .php. ID is, we don't know yet. We're gonna get there. And then here we can do read more. Read more. Okay. And then what else? I think we can do a footer. Okay, we can do a footer after our main section. What is we have? We have a footer. The class is footer. Okay, and then here we have a div with class container. And then we can do add copy. Okay, I think we have a P here. Okay, and then you can copy this. Okay, cut, paste, add copy, DevStorm 2026 or rights reserved. Nothing fancy. Okay, now let's get into the interesting part, which is writing our script for handling our post filtering. So here we're going to do PHP. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to include our connection object. So PHP config.php. Okay, so we have to query our database. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna go back here and then I'm gonna copy and paste these EPA functions that we wrote the other time. So something should have been done here. Okay, so I should have concatenated this. Okay, so that's fixed. So I'm going to copy and then here in search.php I'm going to paste here. Okay, we're going to be using this inside so then we can do search results. For now we're going to set it to null, and then we can do search query. For now we're going to set this to an empty string. Okay, then we can do if set this get method, object query. This query attribute we're going to pass from our form. So we're going to get there, but let's just undo this for now. And then we're going to set search result, no, search query actually, to underscore get query, like that. Okay. There is more to do. Okay. Let's undo our search term. Okay. It's just all of these formats. This. Then let's do search query. Then we concatenate. Let it braid. Okay. Now we have this. Okay. So that's the format of our search term. Now we have to query our database, SQL. Then we say select all from post. We're querying our post table where title, like the query we are passing, or content, which is like the query we are passing, and then we can order by publish date. Order by publish date. Descending. Now we have to prepare our statement. So we have statement, which is equals to our connection object, and then we prepare like this. Now we pass in our SQL query. We have to bind our statement to our params. So this is bind param. We're using two columns, title and content, and they are string types. So that's SS. And then for our variables, we have search term, and then search term. So the variable is search term on both accounts. Search term. Okay. Now we have to execute our statement. Execute, like that. And then now we have to point our search result to the result we're getting from our database query. So this is get result. Okay, like that. I think that's all. Okay, so we have our helper methods, our helper functions. We also since we are doing in our navbar, since we are doing session here, we're checking for login session here. We have to do session start up here. Session start, like that. Okay. Now the next thing is for us to populate our templates. So let's start with the title. Yeah, here. So we can do, so instead of this, let me just do search results. Assuming we got more than one result, search results, then I'm going to set that to display safe. I'm going to invoke this display safe function, the Apple function that I copied the other time. And then in here, I'm going to pass search query. I think that's the only thing it's expecting. Okay. After that, I have to get into all right. Now inside, we have a form inside our navbar that is handling search. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to implement this once, and then I'm going to copy and paste it in other templates so that it works. Now, this form has class search form, and then the method is get. We're not posting, we're getting. So it's get, and then we have an action. So I'm just going to do action. Action is this page, search.php, but then because we're going to be using it in other pages, so we just set the action to search.php. Our input has to have a name attribute. So the name is going to be query. Query. Remember this query here. If it said get query, so we're going to pass that query from our form inside our navbar. So whatever query we query our form is going to have this name attribute, and this name attribute query is going to be used to query our database, right? So remember, we're using search term, which is what we have here. And then we say if we set query, and then search query is this, and then our search term is search query, which comprise our query that we pass from our form. We're just formatting it here. Okay. So that's that. Since we've undone that inside our form, the next thing, I'm going to make this required so that input, what is it? Yeah, input required, so that if we mistakenly click submit and we didn't pass any query, then we're going to get that validation flag. Okay, so the next thing is for us to undo our what is it called? We're going to undo our error session. So what is it? Error session, then search results, then showing result for our search query. Okay, so let's say showing result for, and then here, what should we do here? I want to do strong, so let's do strong here. Okay, and then we can have PHP, and then we can do echo display, so that I don't forget, display safe, and then here we can pass our search query, like that. Okay, so it's inside of us strong tag. So the next thing is to undo the result of our search query, and display inside our post grid. So for that, we're going to write some conditional statements. Okay, so here inside our main, we're going to go inside post grid. I don't think I have any PHP extension here in my VS Code that would have allowed me to format this. See, the option is not coming up. So post grid main content, and then here inside our post grid, we're going to write a condition for displaying this section. So let's get into it. PHP like this. Then we're going to do if such results, and then this is supposed to be a variable. Where's the dollar sign? Such results, and such result is what we're getting from our query. So num rows is greater than 0. That's it. That is, we got something from our database. Okay, so if that's the case, let me end if here. Nope. Let's do else PHP. Then we can do else. Say we didn't get any result, so no result. Then we should be able to display that here. No results. Okay, and then let's have P here. PA. Okay, we can go back to our home page here. Say return home, and then here we can do no post found that match your query. Okay, I think that should do for our health block. So our health template, okay, here is block, yeah, stay the same. Then I have to end if here. PHP. Then I do end if. Okay. So that takes care of if we didn't get, if our query didn't match anything in a database. Okay, so let's go back to our section. Then we can do why. That's another PHP conditional statement. Then we say why row equals to such results. Now we fetch associative array, fetch a sock. Okay, while that's the case, now we can display what we have here. Now the other time I forgot, I shouldn't forget this time. So here I should do ny. Okay, now the first thing we're doing here is we're displaying our image. Okay, so here we can do PHP, then we can do display save, our helper function display save. So now we need row and then cover photo. Now the reason we set this row variable here is so that it will be easy for us to access here. Imagine if we had to go through this like this. It's not quite nice. So that's that. I did, what's the alternative that I set here? I set search blog. No, this should be post image. Let's keep it consistent. Post image. Okay. The next one is title. So let's choose PHP, and then let's do display. No, display safe, and then here we have a row title. Okay, then the next one is author name. So this should be by, okay, I didn't give this class, so it might not display properly. So I think the class is meta, if I'm not mistaken. Meta. So it has this faded display. Okay, so I think here we also have to do for time. So first thing first, this. Then we can do display safe, and then we can get the author name. So row author name, like that, and then we can have this, let it breed. Okay, so let's have our published date here. So again, we're gonna have PHP template string. So that what is we have, then we have to call our date epa function. Then let's set the format, month, day, then year. Okay, and then our timestamp, string to time here, and then let's set our date time row, which is a published date. Okay, so after that we can do get preview, which is a epa function. Okay, so here let's invoke get preview. So get preview, so one of the helper functions we copied from our other template the other time. And then let's pass our content here, content. Okay, and then what is here, we have to set the ID to the ID of our post. So which is should I do? No, I don't need that. Row. It should work. Post ID, since it's integer. So read more. That should take us to the blog view.php page. Okay. So having done that, the next thing I need to do is, you see this adjustment that I made here. I need to copy this, and then I have to add this name attribute as well. Then let's go to index.php so that we can implement our search in our home page as well. So inside navbar, where's that form? Okay, so then I can place this here. Can paste this here. Action. Okay, we already have class. Okay. The next thing, name has to be query. I have to add name here, otherwise it's not going to work on this page. Query. We also have to undo that in our blog view. Remember, I told you guys that if this were to be a large application, you would want to extract this header template inside some kind of partial file, and then you include it on each of our pages. But it's just a small application, so I'm not worried. I'm doing it like this. You get the idea, so you can re-implement it on your hand. If you encounter any issue, you can just talk to me in the comment section. I'll guide you through. Okay, so I think that's what we have for this. Let me save, and then fingers crossed. So the idea is this: when we enter our query, this action search.php, it gets fired or triggered. It's a get method. So when we enter our query and then we click submit inside our form, it's going to trigger the script we have inside our search.php. So when we click submit inside our navbar, it's going to redirect us to this, what is it, search.php, and then this script is going to run. All the script we wrote is going to run, and then if we got results, then this section we display. Otherwise, it's going to be no post found that match your query. This is what you're going to get instead. So fingers crossed. Let's go back to here. I'm going to refresh, and then here I'm going to try JavaScript. Enter. Okay, so cannot use is set on result of an expression. What is it? Search.php on line 24. Let me see what I have there. Search 24. Search.php line 24. Oh, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I made a mistake here. Okay. And then let's refresh. Still on 924. What is it? Okay. I think I was doing too much here. Okay. Then if I click, okay, so now this is working. So these are the search results for our, so you see, search.php query is equals to JavaScript, just like we expected. So if I do artificial intelligence, remember we said we can also undo this filtering functionality from our search page. So that's why we included this. So if I do artificial intelligence, then I click enter. So this is working as well. Artificial intelligence. Okay. So if I do read more here, just to check that it's working. Okay, so it takes us to blockview.php. So good. So we've implemented the third aspect of our application. So what we're left with comment and reply. So that's what we're going to be implementing next. So guys, I'm going to see you guys the next video where we're going to be implementing our comments and reply. Okay guys, thanks for watching.